Let's talk about a country that, on paper, looks just about perfect. We're talking world-class productivity, finances that are rock solid, and literally the lowest unemployment in the entire EU. But if you ask the people who actually live there, well, the reality is a whole lot more complicated. In this explainer, we're diving deep into the Czech economic paradox.
So on one side, you've got this amazing economic brochure, right? An unbelievable 2.7% unemployment rate, super high productivity, but then you flip it over and you see the reality for the people living there. Wages are basically half of what they are right next door in Germany. It takes 15 years of your entire gross salary to buy an apartment in Prague, and a huge piece of the economic pie sends its profits to foreign owners.
So how is that even possible? How can an economy look so good in the official rankings, while its citizens are dealing with problems you'd expect in a much weaker economy? Well, that's the puzzle we're going to try and piece together today.
You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. The Czech Republic didn't build a miracle, it built a paradox. See, this isn't a story about failure, not at all. It's about a very specific kind of success, one that comes with some really serious trade-offs.
Okay, to really get this paradox, we have to pop the hood and look at the engine room. What does the Czech Republic actually make? And maybe more importantly, who owns the factories that are making it all?
The first thing that just jumps out at you is how incredibly industrial the Czech economy is. I mean, industry makes up 37% of the whole economy. That is way higher than the EU average, which is sitting around 25%. While a lot of Europe was moving away from manufacturing, the Czech Republic, well, they doubled down.
And what's at the very heart of that industrial machine? Cars. The auto sector alone makes up a staggering 10% of the country's entire GDP. Think about that. That's the highest share of any country in Europe. Yep, not Germany, the Czech Republic.
The scale here is just massive. A brand new car rolls off an assembly line every 23 seconds. The sector provides jobs for almost 500,000 people. But, and this is the big but, look at the names on the factories. Škoda, which is owned by Volkswagen, Hyundai, Toyota. They're all foreign-owned. In fact, just Škoda by itself accounts for 5% of the entire country's GDP. And this is where a huge problem starts.
So, this brings us to a really crucial idea, the GDP-GNI gap. Think of it this way. GDP measures everything that gets produced inside the Czech Republic. But GNI, that measures what Czech citizens and companies actually get to keep. And that big gap between the two, it means that billions in profits, all generated by Czech workers, are being wired out of the country to headquarters in Germany, South Korea, and Japan. It's this massive dividend drain.
And this gets right to the heart of the frustration. Czech workers are incredibly productive. I mean, the quality and complexity of what they're making is right up there with their German neighbors. We're talking about absolutely world-class factories.
And yet, despite that nearly identical productivity, the median wage in the Czech Republic is less than half of what it is in Germany. It is literally the same work, making the same products for a fraction of the pay. That is the paradox, right there in two charts.
So what is the human cost of this economic model? What does it actually feel like for a normal person just trying to build a life in this kind of system?
Well, let's start with housing. In Prague, it would take you 15 years of your entire gross salary to buy a standard apartment. And that's before taxes, before you buy food, before you spend a single crown on anything. It makes Prague one of the least affordable major cities in all of Europe.
Let me put it another way. An average monthly salary in the capital buys you less than half a square meter of apartment space, 0.47 square meters. That's not a home, that's the size of a doormat. It's wild.
And look, this isn't some new problem that just popped up. Over the last decade, house prices have shot up 123%, while incomes have only grown 83%. Wages are in a race they just can't win, and the gap just keeps getting wider and wider every single year.
It's like someone literally just picked up Munich's real estate market and dropped it into a city where the salary's a third of Munich's. So you've got the property prices of a wealthy Western capital, but they're sitting on top of the wages of a Central European one. The math just doesn't work.
So you have to ask, is there another way out of this? Beyond the factory floor, a totally different Czech economy starting to bubble up, one that's all about technology and innovation. So, could Silicon Bohemia be the answer to the paradox? And hey, this isn't just some small niche industry. The tech sector is already contributing over 5% to the country's GDP and employs more than 150,000 people. You've probably heard of some of their big successes, like the cybersecurity giant Avast or the online grocery unicorn Relique. The talent is definitely there.
This really presents the country with a super clear choice. Do you stick with the old model, be a subsidiary, focus on manufacturing, and just watch the profits flow abroad? Or do you try to build the new model? Become a headquarters, focus on innovation, and create wealth that actually stays at home.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, here's the catch. The new economy is at serious risk of falling into the exact same trap as the old one. A shocking 1 in every 4 Czech tech founders is already thinking about moving their company abroad. And you have to ask, why?
Because it's the same pattern all over again. Step 1, Czech talent creates something of incredible value. Step 2, because there isn't enough local investment capital, they have to turn to foreign investors to grow. Which leads to step 3, eventually the ownership and all that wealth flows right out of the country. The paradox just repeats itself, but this time with software instead of cars.
And this really frames the central challenge for the country's future, doesn't it? The old automotive engine is starting to sputter. It's facing huge threats from the switch to electric vehicles. So the question is, can the new tech economy get built up fast enough to replace it? It's a genuine race against time. And this leaves us with the ultimate question. Can the Czech Republic finally make that leap from being Europe's factory floor to becoming one of its great innovation hubs? The talent, the ideas, the potential, it's all there. But, as we've seen, trying to escape a paradox that you built yourself, well, that's the hardest challenge of all.